What could cause a perfectly good plane to plummet from the sky, claiming the lives of every single person on board? In the heart of Brazil, a tragedy unfolded that sent shockwaves around the world. A routine journey turned into a nightmare on a Friday afternoon. A Boeing Pass ATR 72-500 turboprop plane, carrying 58 passengers and 4 crew members, was making its way from the sun-drenched city of Cascavel in Paraná State to the bustling metropolis of São Paulo. The aircraft, a familiar sight in Brazilian skies, was expected to touch down at Guarulhos International Airport, its final destination a mere formality in the grand scheme of countless daily flights. However, fate intervened with a cruel twist. As the plane navigated the skies above the state of São Paulo, a catastrophe unfolded. Heart-wrenching footage, later disseminated widely on social media, captured the terrifying descent of the aircraft. The once steady plane appeared to defy gravity, spiraling downwards in a horrifying freefall before meeting a violent end in the town of Vinhedo. The impact was catastrophic, the aircraft reduced to a mangled wreck amid the tranquil suburban landscape. The crash site was a scene of unimaginable devastation. Twisted metal, shattered debris, and the acrid scent of jet fuel filled the air. Emergency responders, their faces etched with a mixture of shock and determination, swarmed the area. Firefighters battled raging infernos, their powerful hoses a stark contrast to the relentless flames. Paramedics, their skills honed for life-saving, were confronted with a grim reality. There were no survivors. The scene was a chaotic tapestry of destruction. Twisted metal from the aircraft lay scattered across the landscape, some pieces contorted into unrecognizable shapes. Smoke billowed from the wreckage, a thick, acrid cloud that stung the eyes and choked the lungs. The stench of jet fuel hung heavy in the air, a sickening reminder of the fiery demise of the plane. Emergency responders, clad in protective gear, moved with urgency and purpose. Firefighters, their faces obscured by heat-resistant masks, battled the inferno with powerful hoses, their relentless streams of water a desperate attempt to tame the raging flames. Paramedics, their medical kits slung over their shoulders, rushed towards the wreckage, a flicker of hope battling against the overwhelming odds. But as they reached the mangled remains of the aircraft, their hope was extinguished. There were no signs of life, only the chilling silence of death. The once peaceful neighborhood was now a scene of utter devastation. Homes in the vicinity of the crash site bore the brunt of the impact, their roofs ripped apart, windows shattered, and walls caved in. The tranquility of the community was shattered, replaced by a chilling sense of horror and disbelief. Residents, shaken and disoriented, emerged from their homes to a scene of unimaginable destruction. Some wandered aimlessly, their faces etched with shock, while others wept openly, mourning the loss of life and the destruction of their neighborhood. As news of the tragedy spread like wildfire, a collective wave of grief swept across the nation. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of condolences and support for the families of the victims. Tributes poured in from across the country, with flags lowered to half-mast and vigils held in remembrance of the lost lives. The loss of 62 individuals, each of their own dreams, aspirations, and loved ones left behind, was a stark reminder of life's impermanence and the fragility of human existence. As the dust began to settle, a meticulous investigation commenced. The focus turned to the wreckage, a somber testament to the tragedy. Every piece of debris, every fragment of the aircraft became a potential clue. Aviation experts, forensic investigators, and law enforcement officials converged on the site, their task to unravel the mystery behind the catastrophic crash. The black boxes, those digital recorders holding the secrets of the final moments, were recovered. These devices, with their capacity to capture flight data and cockpit voice recordings, were the linchpin of the investigation. Experts would pore over the data, searching for any anomalies, any indication of mechanical failure, or human error that might explain the inexplicable. As the investigation unfolded, questions arose. Why did the plane descend so rapidly? Were there weather conditions that contributed to the tragedy? Was there a mechanical issue that compromised the aircraft's integrity? The search for answers was a complex and painstaking process, one that would undoubtedly take time. Beyond the cold statistics and technical jargon, the plane crash was a profound human tragedy. 62 individuals, each with their own unique story, dreams, and aspirations, were abruptly extinguished. Families were shattered, lives irrevocably altered. The loss was immeasurable. The crash resonated deeply with the Brazilian people. A nation accustomed to celebrating life was plunged into mourning. The outpouring of grief was palpable as people from all walks of life expressed their condolences and support for the bereaved. Memorials sprang up, becoming places of solace and remembrance for those who had lost loved ones. Among the victims were two young doctors, their promising careers cut short. Their loss was felt particularly acutely in the medical community, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the invaluable contributions of healthcare professionals. The nation was in shock. The crash of the Voipass ATR 72-500 was a stark reminder of the risks inherent in air travel, even in an era of advanced aviation technology. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva expressed his deepest sympathies to the families and friends of the victims, a gesture that echoed the sentiments of a nation in mourning. The government swiftly mobilized resources to support the rescue and recovery efforts. Emergency responders from neighboring towns, including Valinhos, joined the operation, demonstrating a spirit of solidarity in the face of tragedy. The crash also spurred a renewed focus on aviation safety. As the nation grappled with the loss, questions about aircraft maintenance, pilot training, and the weather conditions emerged, prompting a comprehensive review of aviation protocols. The tragedy cast a long shadow over Brazil, evoking memories of the 2007 TAM Express disaster. While the nation was still reeling from the impact of this latest aviation tragedy, it was clear that the path to healing would be arduous and the quest for answers would be relentless. To fully grasp the magnitude of this tragedy, it's essential to hear from those who witnessed it firsthand. Eyewitness accounts offer a chilling glimpse into the terrifying moments leading up to the crash. Residents of Venhido describe hearing a deafening roar followed by a massive explosion. The shockwaves of the impact were felt throughout the community. Beyond the immediate loss of life, the crash has had a profound impact on the residents of Venhido. The once quiet neighborhood is now a somber reminder of the fragility of life. Counseling services and support groups have been established to help the community cope with the trauma. As the investigation unfolds, the people of Venhido will undoubtedly carry the scars of this tragedy for years to come. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. Thanks for watching.